Nepal is famous for its two things. First is like Mount Everest, and second is controversial.
Buddha was born in Nepal. So our largest festival is Dasai or Dasera.
Dasai is Dashera. Yeah.
And we were never colonized, as you said.
Yeah.
That's why one of the reasons why even our flag is triangular.
Yeah. When you go to Taj Mahal, do you pay like foreign ticket or like Indian ticket?
We just speak in Hindi.
तो हम हिंदी में बात करें?
हाँ हम बात कर सकते हैं हिंदी में. Nepali would say like Namaste, मेरो नाम शिवानी हो, which is my name is Shivani. And I was like, this is because I sneezed and left my house, and so I got the bad luck. Until 2006 we had the king, but in 2001 we had the Royal Massacre, which to this day there's no confirmation on who was the culprit. So we had a 10-year-long civil war. In the middle of the civil war, we had the Royal Massacre. Then we had King Gyanendra step up, then ousted, and then democracy installed. And so we don't celebrate New Year's on January 1st. And currently we're in the year 2078 or something like that.
Huh?
So my Nepali birth year, because we use another calendar called Bikram Sambat.
How's the future?
How's the future looking? The same?
I'm so curious about Yeti. You want to talk about that?
The US was a huge culture shock for reasons that you can imagine. I didn't see tall buildings everywhere. Very rural. You need a car in the US to get around because things are very spread out and far. It's very rural. I had culture shock seeing that cooking was not that big of a thing. It's like microwave and eating ready-made food and fast food.
Yes.
Super popular. We have drive-thrus in the US. Yeah, so South Africa, also one of my favorite countries. I did an exchange program there. Eniki Malayalam kurchu kurchu ariyam. I know Malayalam little bit. But momo is like, I would even call it our national food. We all Nepalis love momos, especially buff momo, which is buffalo meat. We both know it.
Want to ask where my dress is from?
Yeah, is it Sabyasachi? Or
Abuzani, Sandeep Khosla.
Oh, Sandeep Khosla.
Hello everyone. I am Sonam. I'm currently studying in International University of Japan in Japan. And here I'm meeting people from all over the world, from over 60 countries. So I thought, why not invite all of them here on this show, which I named as Internash with Sonam, and then I'll ask them about the weirdest culture or stereotypes that they have listened about their country, even about India. We're talking to them about their favorite festivals, the things that I'm sure you have not listened anywhere else, because we'll be talking to the native people themselves. So the idea came to my mind when there was Nepali people who knew everything about India, and to my surprise, I knew almost nothing about them. So I thought they are fluent in Hindi. They know everything what an Indian knows. So I thought, why not make a series, because there's a lot of things that are unexplored yet. So as my first episode, I really want to invite a Nepali girl, so that we can talk. In fact, we Indians know a very, very less about Nepal. So now is the time when we should learn things also. So please welcome Shivani.
Hello.
Shivani, you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, okay. So I'm Shivani. I'm Sonam's closest friend at IUJ. I'm from Nepal, and so today we'll just be talking about Nepal, I guess. Yeah.
About Nepal. Do you want to tell us about your story? Like, where have you studied and everything? Why you are so good? Why there's an accent in your language?
Why there's an accent? So I'm from Nepal. I was born there. But then I have lived in many other places. I spent a few years studying in India. I did my undergrad in the US. I lived in Virginia for 5 years. And then I lived in Japan when I was really young as well. I lived in Nagaoka, which is like one Shinkansen stop from where we are right now.
Yeah.
And so now in my adult life, I'm back. I'm back to Niigata Prefecture for my master's. I thought it would be good to come back.
Yeah, we are so pleased to have you.
Thank you.
So about Nepal, yeah. So do all Nepalis can speak Hindi?
Most of them can speak Hindi.
Yeah.
Not everyone's will be very fluent, but almost everyone can speak, and definitely everyone can understand. And especially the more south you go in the country, from like the Tarai region, which is where I'm from, they can all speak, and many of them do speak Hindi as a first language as well.
So, but all Nepal speak Nepali, right?
Yeah, Nepali is our national language. Our constitution and all the legal documents are in Nepali. But we do have 122 languages spoken in the country. So we have sort of a lot of different ethnic groups, and everyone has their own language as well. Yeah.
तो हम हिंदी में बात करें?
हाँ, हम बात कर सकते हैं हिंदी में. I know it because in Nepal people speak it, and then I grew up with Hindi movies, Hindi songs, like Bollywood all the way. So.
हाँ, हम लोग पूरा दिन coffee with Karan.
Coffee with Karan, yeah, I know all the Bollywood gossip. We both know it.
Want to ask where my dress is from?
Yeah, is it Sabyasachi or
is it Abu Zani, Sandeep Khosla?
Oh, Sandeep Khosla. Mine's from, I don't know, Manish
Malhotra.
Yeah,
we love watching Bollywood. We watch like Coffee with Karan every episode. Like.
Yes. And we are up to date with everything that's going on. I was just watching Manish Malhotra's Diwali bash this morning.
So do you know about India's history also? Like, is it in your curriculum?
Not in if you go to Nepali school, no, because then you learn Nepali history. But I know it because I grew up in Kerala.
Okay.
So there, like, I learned it. But in Nepal, we don't learn Indian history in depth. Just the basics, like British rule, Mughals, former British colony, and they speak a lot of languages, and just the very basics. Yeah.
And just for the audience, like ऐसा कहा जाता है कि इंडिया और नेपाल का रोटी बेटी का रिश्ता है. It means like it's very common to get married like between Nepali and and Indians. And also like ऐसे भी बोलता है कि ये लोग shopping करनी होती है, सब्जी लेनी होती है, that also they cross borders and come to India and buy. It's because we don't need visa to go into each other's countries.
That, and also like saris and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when my uncle was getting married, my family, they went to shop at the border.
Okay.
Because it's cheaper, I think, on the other side.
Yeah.
So I think they ended up going to the Indian side. They bought all the saris and stuff, the lehengas, and then they brought it over. So it's very common to do that because for us, we're from near the border.
Yeah.
So it's easy to do that.
Okay, let's explain the Terai region, as there are 3 regions in Nepal. So you want to explain that?
Yeah, so the southernmost is called the Terai region. So that borders India. So that's where you have people who speak Hindi very fluently and even as a first language. Then you have sort of the middle region, or like the hilly region.
Pahadi region.
Sort of like the Pahadi region. Yeah, so that's where you go into more languages, different languages. And Kathmandu, our capital, is in the middle as well. And the ethnic people of Kathmandu are called Newars. They have their own culture and language. And then you go further north, and then it's just straight up mountains. You will get like the Everest and all the Himalayan range over there, and the Sherpas.
Nepal is famous for its 2 things. First is like Mount Everest, and second is controversy.
Buddha was born in Nepal. Yeah, we love saying that. But yeah, so Buddha was born in the southern part, which is now present day Nepal.
Kapilvastu. No,
Lumbini. Yeah.
India says it's Kapilvastu, but Nepali says it's Lumbini. So it's like a bit controversial, but we are not.
And then I guess the other thing was Everest.
Yeah. What do you call Everest in Nepal?
So our word for Everest is Sagarmatha. Because Sagar is the ocean and Matha is the head. So because it's like the head. So we just call it Sagarmatha.
Yeah.
Mount
and
Everest.
It's very is it very common for people to ask you, have you like climbed Mount Everest?
It's common. I didn't realize how common it would be because I didn't think people actually thought that, but they do ask, have you climbed Everest? Do you live near Everest? have you been to Everest?
Yeah.
Have you hiked there, trekked there? And no. And
It's not that
it's
easy.
not
It's
easy.
the highest mountain.
It's
Come on.
very difficult. You need years of experience and lots of money to climb Everest. So no, I don't live there.
And how was like studying in India was different from studying in US? Like,
Yeah, but India I was there for my schooling and US I was there for university. So anyway, it's different, but I had a blast in India, I have to say. I really loved, I had a great childhood because I was there. And Kerala is one of the most literate states, or I think number one, I think.
Yeah.
It's the highest, most literate state in all of India. Lots of women, I think even women to men ratio is pretty high. And the beach is like so nice. Like it's filled with coconut trees. There's
Have you
coconut
been to
trees
Ernakulam?
everywhere. Yes, Cochin, yeah.
I have been to Ernakulam.
Yeah.
Munnar.
Oh, you went to Munnar?
Yeah.
The tea
Yes.
station.
Tea station.
Eniki Malayalam kurchu ariyam. I know Malayalam little bit, so I have a very bad accent when I say
it's
that.
okay.
So it was very good to grow up there.
And
Yeah.
like about US, we have so much expectations like we see in the movies. Is it like that?
It if you go to New York, yeah. But the rest of the country is not like New York.
Yes.
So I think everything we see in movies is either California or New York, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
you either see the tall buildings or you see like the Hollywood sign. So if you want to see those, you have to specifically go to
Go
those
to
places.
New York and California. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of the US is actually more rural than you would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, like
I want
there's
to like make that address.
yeah, like it's like there's lots of land, lots of spaces between like two regions, two stores, for example. No high-rise buildings once you get out of the cities. The buildings in the US would be like for one floor, like there will be maybe 2 floors maximum, but they're wide. They're super wide. Yeah, because there's a lot of space on the land. So it's good, but it's not like how you see in the movies for sure. Say, from
But
scratch.
is there like so much divorces happening every now and then that we see in the movies?
Oh, I do think the US has one of the highest divorce rates, I think. I don't know the numbers.
But have you seen like was it your personal observation also?
Yeah, it was my personal observation that most of the people are from single parent households, and usually led by the women. So usually they stay with
With
from
the
my
mother.
observation, they were with the moms most of the times, and the parents were separated, or it was like joint custody, and so one parent 1 week and one parent over the weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was my observation.
Aren't you getting like culture shocks? Like living in like Kerala, which is quite a traditional country, a traditional state of India, and then going to US, and then you have been to South Africa also. So
Yeah.
how is it like?
Yeah, there are definitely culture shocks. The US was a huge culture shock for reasons that you can imagine. I didn't see tall buildings everywhere. Very rural. You need a car in the US to get around because things are very spread out and far. It's very rural. I had culture shock seeing that cooking was not that big of a thing. It's like microwave and eating ready-made food and fast food.
Yes.
Was super popular. We have drive-throughs in the US. You don't even have to get out of your car. You just drive and you order something and they give it to you in your car. And
in India also now there's a drive-through.
Oh, it's getting common there?
it's getting common. Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't there when I was living there.
Yeah. It's recent thing. Yeah. And how about South Africa? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so South Africa, also one of my favorite countries. I did an exchange program there a few years ago when I was studying. South Africa, I found it similar to the US in terms of their politics, because they have similar history with like racial divides and like racial tensions. And because of that, South Africa has a lot of poverty with specific ethnic groups, which is similar to the US. So the politics were very similar. The culture was different, but I enjoyed it because I think one of my favorite things that I saw in South Africa was we went to a church one time. in the morning, and it started off as like normal, like how you would think, and then suddenly everyone was like singing and dancing and clapping, and it was their way of praying. But they were very like, it was very fun.
But Africans are so fun.
They're just fun
so
in general,
fun.
and I
So
think
much fun.
I think it even comes out when they pray.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting,
so that was one of my favorite things. But but in terms of socially, my culture shock was just how fun, how fun and social they are.
Yeah, but is it safe?
No, not South Africa. They have a very high crime rate, actually. So you have to be very careful. When we were there, we only went out in groups, especially for women. So the crime rate is pretty high, lots of muggings, and I think femicide and all of that is the numbers are high, unfortunately. So you do have to be careful.
How about AIDS?
I think AIDS also, it has one of the highest percentage of people suffering from AIDS. Yeah.
And is it common to like South Africans to travel to Botswana and the nearby states? Is it easier, convenient, transportation?
It's more it's more common that people from Botswana and Mozambique and those countries come to South Africa because they have one of the highest economies in Africa. I think after Nigeria, I think it's South Africa. So people want to come to the country to work. So you have lots of people from Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia.
The nearby countries.
Yeah, they
the nearby
work.
states. Countries. Yeah. There's so many countries in Africa.
So especially sub-Saharan Africa, they come to South Africa to work or to study. Like the university where I studied in, University of Cape Town, there lots of international students from all over Africa and even the world, but all over Africa was there. Yeah. Yep.
So let's turn into Nepal.
Yes.
So I'm so curious about Yeti. You want to talk about that?
Yeti is our version of Bigfoot, like Bigfoot that is common in North America. It's an urban legend. I mean, there have been many sightings and many reasons that people think we have Yeti. Yeti is just like a creature. No one has seen it. No one knows what it looks like. But people have said that they saw big footprints, like on the mountains or in the snow. But we think what happened is that foreigners saw a yak, maybe a huge yak. Or some type of other animal in the mountains that they didn't recognize, and maybe it was their footprints. And so that's why Yeti became like a legend. But for us, we don't believe in it. It's something that is like a cool fact that they believe outside of Nepal more than inside of Nepal.
Okay. They say people could see it when they go to the Everest, right?
Yeah. It's that. Yeah, it's usually on Everest where it's sighted.
Yeah, it's like, have you seen White Walkers?
Oh, from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It
looks like that. No?
It's a bit similar but bigger. Fatter.
Fatter.
Yeah.
If we want to come to Nepal, what are the travel recommendations that you want to give?
So, most of our tourists are mountain tourists who come in April or November, our peak seasons. But if you... So we're famous for the mountains, but another thing is also temples. We have lots and lots of temples, especially in Kathmandu. I think Kathmandu has more temples than any other structure.
And Pashupatinath.
Pashupatinath is also there, the Shiva temple. And we have the Sangha. Go there. The most popular cities to visit are Kathmandu, Pokhara, Mustang. But Mustang is if you're a trekker and you want to start trekking. Then you go to the base camps. Those are our very most popular. Lumbini. And Lumbini sees tourists from around the world.
Especially Southeast Asia.
Yeah, especially Southeast Asians. Like lots of like Vietnamese and... I mean,
Buddhist dominating countries.
Yeah.
Because Lumbini is the birthplace of Buddha. So lots of people, those are the countries that have so much influence of Buddhism. They are very good friends of Nepal because of that also.
Yeah.
Good relations, political relations,
Yeah, those would be the popular one. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to do spiritual travel, then Lumbini is good and Kathmandu is good. If you want to do mountains, start from Mustang and go
Do you
up.
know about like Ramayana and Mahabharata also? Because we say like Sita was from Nepal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to
Yeah.
address that? Yeah.
Yeah, so Sita is her birthplace is known as
Janakpur.
Janakpur. I think she was the adoptive daughter of King Janak,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So yeah, Janakpur is also in Nepal in the Tarai region.
Uh-huh.
Actually, that's where my family's from,
Uh-huh.
in the Tarai. So the Janakpur also has many temples, but the most famous is the Janki
Janki
Mandir,
Mandir.
yeah, or Janki Temple, which honors that part of history. So we have lots of Indian tourists specifically that
Yeah.
come to Janki Mandir and to other cities in the south.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so lots of spiritual travel.
So you guys like know about Ramayana and Mahabharata.
Yeah. Just because we're also predominantly a Hindu country,
Uh-huh.
so we do have to study it.
Yeah, is that
Now we're secular.
Uh-huh.
But until 2015, yeah, you're right. It was the
Ah.
only country in the world to be a Hindu
A Hindu country.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
But we have a new constitution now, so they went secular.
Yeah.
But for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know. Oh, let's talk about food first. So, it's a dal bhat.
Dal bhat, yes, dal bhat all the way. Nothing is more filling than that. It's just lentils and rice.
So dal bhat means dal roti.
Yeah, it's like dal roti, but we have bhat, like rice instead. Yeah.
Rice is a staple food.
Yeah, rice is our staple food. Everyone eats rice. I mean, we have roti also, but rice is the main.
Yeah. And other popular dishes?
Momos, which I think are very famous even in India now. But momo is like, I would even call it our national food. All Nepalis love momos, especially buff momo, which is buffalo meat. I mean, we don't eat beef, but we do eat buff for some reason. Yeah. So buff momo is favorite, is the country's favorite. Then if you go in the north, they eat like very soupy and warm foods.
Thukpa?
Like thukpa, yeah, like because it's much colder there,
Yeah,
so you just want to be warm. So thukpa is very famous, dal bhat. Yeah, we're pretty similar, I think,
Very
to
similar.
Indian cuisine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you also eat with hands, right?
I eat with hands. Nepalis eat with
With
hands.
hands.
Yeah, traditionally. Yeah, and
so it's
I
like
love it.
it's like exactly like India.
Very, very similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like very similar to North India. I would say. Yeah, because
And-
then South is different.
And Nepalis, like Indians, Nepalis also love to like go to other countries and live there because there's
Yeah. I mean, outward migration is very,
Very
common,
common.
especially in the last 10, 15 years. People are going everywhere, especially to study. The US is popular. Australia is number one, I think. And Japan is top 5 as well. So
It was weird for me to hear like why lots of Nepalis in Japan.
yeah.
Yeah, that was new because I'm meeting more Nepalis than Indians
Than India.
in here.
And Japan is our largest foreign aid donor
Ah.
in Nepal. And they have built a lot of things, like helped build like a lot of hospitals and stuff. I don't know how Japan got so popular in Nepal, but it's been this way for at least 20 years. And lots of Nepalis in Japan, many. Especially even in Niigata city, if you go.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
there are many.
A lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard like some population in Nepal is like thalassemic and is resistant to malaria. What is
Yes.
that?
So again, in the Tarai region, so we're famous for mountains.
Yes.
Our country, but Tarai is all forest. We don't have any mountains, all forest. And we have lots and lots and lots of mosquitoes. So we have a group, an ethnic group called the Tharus, and they're from the jungles. And they say that because of how they have gotten conditioned throughout the years, that they have some type of resistance to malaria. I am not confirmed. Maybe we need to do more studies about it. But people say that they have something.
The similar is the things with some African countries also. They also claim that.
Of malaria. Or
Yeah,
something
malaria
else?
resistance. Yeah.
Then
Actually-
maybe it's a thing.
Actually,
then.
what happens is like there's a condition in which maybe our blood cells become sickle shaped.
Okay.
The shape of our blood cells just changes.
Yeah.
And that way, like, malaria is not able to infect us like mosquito bite. The reaction doesn't occur. There's something like that.
I
which
should
I've
see
done-
if I qualify for that. Because I'm from Tarai, so I should see.
Yeah, my professors used to teach us in our biology class.
Yeah.
But now I forgot everything.
Actually, if you go to Janakpur, you will only notice the mosquitoes there.
Yeah.
Very. And that reminds me, another popular destination in Nepal is Chitwan.
Chitwan.
Yeah, and you do safari in the
Yes.
forest. And also Chitwan has many mosquitoes. That's why I remembered it now.
So you want to talk about festivals first?
Yeah, we can. So our largest festival is Dasai or Dasera.
Dasai is Dashera. Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, and it's a 10-day long festival, and the 10th day is our biggest day. Every Nepali like celebrates Dasai, at least as far as I know. It just passed.
Is it like for 10 days? Like what we do is like we celebrate it 20 days before Diwali. Is it the same that there also?
I don't know if it's exactly 20 days because it hasn't been 20 days since Dasai passed.
Okay.
And now it's already Diwali
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the 20 days. I don't think so. But it's Dasai and then Diwali is very soon.
It's very soon. Yeah.
Very
yeah.
soon after. So we get a combined break. Dasai and Diwali together.
Okay.
So kids don't go to school for like a month because of this, like, or 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So Dasai, and we also Diwali is big. In Nepali we say Tihar. So that's another big festival. Holi is big. Tej. All Nepali women love celebrating Tej. They wear green. Green or red are the main colors, and it's totally a women's festival. They throw so many parties, big parties, and all the women come together and celebrate.
Yeah.
So Tej is another big festival. Tej, Holi, Dasai. Yeah, those are the big ones.
The big ones.
That come to mind. And then maybe different ethnic groups have their smaller festivals and pujas that they do.
And you want to talk about history of Nepal?
Yeah, so history of Nepal. Well, I guess Nepal was many small kingdoms, and then it got unified under our first king, King Prithvinarayan Shah, in 1768, something like that.
Yeah, it was like because Nepal is one of the countries who never got colonized, so they don't have any Independence Day.
Yeah, we don't have an Independence Day, which we love bragging about as well. So so then that's when Nepal came into existence, and we had the same dynasty of kings, Shah kings, all the way until 2006. But now we have transitioned into a democracy. And we were never colonized, as you said.
Yeah.
That's why one of the reasons why even our flag is triangular.
Yeah.
Because if you see really, really old flags, we're all triangles
Triangular.
and not rectangles.
Yeah,
So-
Nepal's flag is the most unique flag of the world.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
two triangles. Yeah, and the very first design of this flag, it's said to be 2,000 years old. So
Whoa.
we somehow we ended up keeping that. Well, another point that we love to brag about is the first war we had with the British. The Gorkhas ended up defeating them.
Yes.
which-
Gorkhas are one of the
Group of people that are historically known to be our soldiers.
soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're from a region called Gorkha.
Yeah,
So that's why
they
they're
say
called
they
Gorkha,
were so good that British Army literally took few of them and
Yeah,
They-
we
yeah.
have the British Gorkhas.
Yes.
Yeah. So first war we defeated them, which is why we didn't get colonized. Second war was slightly different. We didn't win that war, so we ended up signing a treaty with the British. We provided some lands in exchange for keeping our independence. And then then the UK, or at least back then Great Britain, and the Gorkhas ended up forming a nice alliance, a nice friendship. And so even to this day, we have some Gorkhas serving in the
In the
British Army. Yeah. So we have a special, some type of agreement with them. Yeah. Yeah. One of my best friends is from Gorkha, actually. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
So he's from the village of Gorkha, so he would technically be his people. Yeah.
About the history, let's continue.
Yeah, so that's that for the independence. Then in the 20th century, for a while, we ended up having a Rana autocracy, I think, autocratic rule. For various reasons, a king at that time had to step away from power. He was exiled, and then the Ranas stepped up, who have historically been our ministers. And for a few years, it was the Ranas, and then the Shahs got reinstalled, our royal family, and they came back. And then until 2006, we had the king, but in 2001, we had the royal massacre, which to this day, there's no confirmation on who was the culprit.
You want to explain a little bit? It was very disturbing actually to hear about that.
Yeah, so the whole royal family at that time were killed. The king, the queen, all of their children, and including some other relatives. It was a dinner party or something like that, and someone just came with a gun and killed all of them. By many popular accounts, they say it was the king's son at that time, Prince Dipendra. But it's not what the Nepalis believe. We don't think that. But the story is that the prince killed the family and then killed himself as well. So because that whole family died, the king's brother, King Gyanendra, stepped up and he became the king. And under that king, I think things were going a bit more authoritarian, I guess. It was a bit... so we had absolute monarchy, and then from the 90s onwards, it started shifting to constitutional monarchy. And then under King Gyanendra, we were going back to sort of like an absolutism. And by that time, people didn't want the monarchy in general. So in 2006... we voted to get them out and install a democracy. And something else that was also going on was between 1996 and 2006, we also had a civil war, a 10-year-long civil war with the Maoists, or Maobadi as it's called in Nepal.
Communism started coming.
They're sort of the communistic party. So we had a 10-year-long civil war. In the middle of the civil war, we had the royal massacre. Then we had King Gyanendra step up. Then ousted, and then democracy installed. And since then, we've had many prime ministers. None of them have been able to serve a full term until now. Constantly changing. We have a president and a prime minister. President has fulfilled, but not the prime minister.
In your country also, prime minister is the main?
Leader. He handles all the affairs. And president is to
the
represent.
The nominal head of the country.
Exactly. That's how we do it. So right now, I mean, we have we're using the constitution that we drafted in 2015, but still there are many issues with it, so people are still making changes. So we actually haven't had a permanent constitution. Democracy in 2007.
Seven.
But since then, the constitution has been going a lot of changes, undergoing a lot of changes. So we had one in 2012. Then they made some modifications and released one in 2015. Then people are not happy with that, and we're still making modifications to that. So we're actually Nepal is a bit politically turbulent right now, if I have to be honest.
And you want to talk about Manisha Koirala? It was also
Manisha, she's our most famous actress. She's also from an influential family. She's related to one of our most famous and beloved prime ministers, Girija Prasad Koirala. So she's from there, and then she became an actress. Then she went to Mumbai to work in films. So I think she's probably our most successful, globally renowned person to come out of Nepal, I guess.
But she fought cancer and all also.
And then I think she had cancer a couple years ago, but she has beat it.
Yes.
So she's good now. And then we have other actresses, but they are in the Nepali film industry. They haven't yet ventured outside. Like another famous actress we have is Priyanka Karki. She's a famous actress also, but she hasn't done any Hindi movies. Then we have Anna Sharma and many others, but they're in the country.
And do you want to tell us about some superstitions in Nepal?
Nepal we have many superstitions. I think they will be pretty much very similar to what you believe in India, but like I don't know, we have some very silly superstitions like don't brush your hair at night.
Yeah.
Don't cut your nails at night.
Yeah. And
Like,
are there any specific days when you don't need to wash your head also, like hair?
yes, I know my mom does not do them on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that a
Yeah.
main thing or is that
Yeah.
just my mom thing?
No,
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 it's
it's
a
a
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
It's a
she
thing.
says don't do it on Thursdays.
Yeah, it's a
But
thing.
she also fasts on Thursdays, so
Ah.
might be related.
Yeah. Are you not? Why are you not doing fast
Not
on Monday?
fasting.
On Monday you should do.
For good husband,
Yeah,
right?
for good
We believe in that also. If you fast on
Sola
Mondays,
Somvar.
you will have a good husband.
Yeah.
And then like when you shouldn't cross over someone when you walk.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you need to reverse back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
yeah.
when you hit somebody, you have to hit again.
Hit it again
Man.
too.
It's
get
it's all
close
same.
again.
It's all same. Yeah.
Yeah, everything. I cannot think of anything that's like just Nepali. I think it will be whatever India believes, like Hindu superstitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hearing about Filipino superstition. They're not supposed to whistle at night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's new.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah, because India and Nepal are same, so we same this.
The
we
same
have same
superstitions.
superstitions.
Yeah.
But other countries they have
Different
Interesting.
ones. And we also have that black cat.
Yes.
If it crosses your path.
Yes,
not
Kali
to
Billi,
go.
Rasta Kaat Gayi.
And
Yeah.
another thing which just happened to me yesterday, if you are on your way out, but if you sneeze,
Yeah.
you shouldn't leave.
Leave.
So yesterday when I was leaving my house, I sneezed and I thought, I'm like, should I leave now or no? I had that moment of like, maybe I should wait. I don't know what happens. But funny story once actually. When I was in school, like I was leaving my house to go to school, and I sneezed, and I remembered the superstition, and I was like, whatever. And then I went, and then that day, like it turns out, there was a huge festival or something was happening, and my bus couldn't make it to my bus stop. So I was just waiting for a long time, and the bus didn't come. And then I think I ended up going. Either the bus came really late or I ended up going by myself to the school. And I was like, this is because I sneezed and left my house. And so I got the bad luck.
I sneeze literally 50 times a day.
You'd have to stay inside the house.
You don't do Karwa Chauth, but
Yeah, it's
how
not
will your
common for
husband
us.
survive this?
I should start doing
Yeah.
it like with the moon.
Yeah, about the superstition, we didn't. I mean, in our family, we don't have one with like if it's raining, your day would be good. Like you told me that time when I was going to for my trip.
Yeah,
Remember?
if you're starting a trip or starting something and it rains that day, it's a good symbol.
Yeah, she was
that's what
telling me,
they
oh, it's a
say.
good symbol. It's raining.
Because when I first came to IUJ, I think it was either raining or
Raining.
rainy.
Yeah.
And when I left Nepal also, it was a bit rainy. I was like, okay.
Shubh ho gaya hai.
Yeah, this is good. And another fun fact about Nepal is our New Year's is always in the middle of April.
Okay.
We don't celebrate New Year's on January 1st. And currently we're in the year 2078 or something like that.
Huh?
So my Nepali birth year, because we use another calendar called Bikram Sambat. And I don't know the technicalities of how it works. But we are not we don't follow the Gregorian calendar. So even officially, we use Bikram Sambat calendar. So we have our own months, own days,
Did you have
own
like
years.
Magh,
Yeah, Magh,
Chaitra?
Fagun. Like I was
Chaitra.
born in Jeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. My mother used to say this. Like
It's a Hindu calendar.
It's a
I
Hindu
think.
calendar. Oh,
Yeah.
you strictly follow that officially.
Yeah, we follow that officially.
Oh,
it's
that
our
was very
official
new.
calendar. But why we're in the year 2078, I don't know. But we are, because I was born in 2055.
Oh.
So we should be entering 2079. So
If I'll do that like editing this just once.
yeah.
You'll be like, what? What are they talking about?
yeah. I think we might be 2079, not even 78. So
How's the future?
how's the future looking? The same. Hate to break it to you. And then our New Year's is, according to the English calendar, it falls mid-April. So
Okay.
every year we have April 14 or 15 is our New Year.
Oh, how about the time? Do you have a different time also? Because I've heard something about that.
Oh, the 15 minutes
Yes.
thing? Yeah, so we are GMT plus 5:45, something like that. So every country in the world will have the same minutes, even though they're the different hours.
Yeah.
But Nepal will always be 50 minutes off. So if it's like 12 over here, like Nepal will be like 8:45. It's 8:45 a.m. when it's 12 p.m. in Japan. So like instead of being like, what time was it in India when it's 12 here?
It's like 3.5 hours before.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like the minutes go, right? It's either 12 or it's like 30. But ours will be either 15 or 45.
Okay.
Yeah, we are a bit off in that. I think one of the big reasons why we have that is because we want our time zone to be different from India's.
Okay.
So we made because time zone is set through I think the
Longitudinal lines.
and I think we just ended up
Equal
going
crossing from Bihar probably.
we
India,
ended up
exactly.
just doing the 15 minutes difference. We ended up like taking it. Yeah, we were
Okay.
like, okay, we will take this time. Like, it's good. So
So generous.
so we were like, okay, so we're different time from India. That's how much we love our big brother. Yeah.
But your relations with India are good, right?
Yeah, like it's like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
We India is like a big brother. We can find India to be quite bossy, intrusive at times.
Are we?
Like politically
Are
speaking.
we?
But like the people get along
So well.
very well, very similar cultures. And especially in the southern part, there's not much of a differentiation. India and Nepal, because culturally we're very similar.
When you go to Taj Mahal, do you pay like foreign ticket or like Indian ticket?
We just speak in Hindi and end up getting the never in India have I paid for a SARC ticket or a foreign ticket. I'm like, Hindi mein baat karke we're like, oh, hum log Bihar se hain. We just get the ticket, you know. My parents, they always say, oh, hum log Delhi se aaye hain. They take the Delhi ticket.
Yeah. With your hairs like that, don't tell me.
No, yeah, I would like tie my hair and then because it happened with me in Nepal also.
I'm from US. You can say that.
Because when I took Francois, like because I spoke in Nepali, he gave me the Nepali ticket. But the guy was telling me that, oh, if you hadn't spoken, I just assumed you were a foreigner. And he was gonna charge me the foreign ticket.
Yeah.
Because on top of that, I was with a foreigner.
Yeah.
So it's like
That too very sophisticated.
yeah. So but but in India, whenever we go, we just speak in Hindi and get our Indian tickets. We never pay the extra price.
You should not.
Yeah.
We're your big brothers. We could handle it.
Yeah, we
It's
just get the. So if anyone gets confused by my hair, I'll just start speaking in Hindi.
We will luto Britishers. No problem.
Any Europeans.
Any Europeans are fine.
Don't loot us. Our economy is not that strong.
But don't go to China.
Controversial. Yeah, we have two big brothers, India on one hand and China on the other. China, we rely on them a lot for the trade.
Yeah, but these days, lots of Romeo and Juliet going with Bangladesh also. But
Yeah, what's up with that? And even at IUJ, lots
Yeah.
of Bangladeshi people like to socialize with
the
Nepalis.
Nepali, yeah. Dhaka topi. You have
Dhaka topi, yeah, that's our for males. They wear Dhaka topi. Yeah, I don't know why they call it Dhaka topi, but
They say the fabric is from Bangladesh, Dhaka.
oh, that's why maybe. Aha, yeah.
Nepalis from southern part look so much like Indians, but
Yeah.
from the northern part look so much like Chinese.
Yeah, we have diverse features. Yeah, in the south, as you said, we have very Indian features. In the north, they'll have narrower eyes.
Yeah.
Silky, straight hair,
Hair.
like very
Yeah.
like down. And they speak their own languages like Limbus, Rai, Gurung, their own languages as well. And those are the ones that will eat like thuppa and tama, gundruk. These are other foods. Yeah. And then in the south, you will have like this much rice, this much vegetables, like curries, more popular.
Spicy food,
Spicy,
momos.
yeah, momo, yeah.
Yeah. Do you call it momo or momos?
Momo.
We call it like, we used to laugh like momo is singular, momos is plural. Please enlighten us.
No, you just say momo. Yeah, chicken momo, buff momo, like veg momo. Veg momo we do. Sorry, I don't count that as momo. Many Nepalis will say the same thing. Veg momo is not momo.
Do you have like kurkure momo? In India, we have like tandoori momo, kurkure momo.
Oh, we don't have like that
We have
yet.
to made our own.
No, we don't have those. Maybe we should. You guys are taking our food and adding like modifications to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manchurian momos. So many momos
I
in
want
Delhi.
to try those now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but momo's a street food first. Is it street
Yeah,
food
street
also?
food, street food.
And we also have the
Golgappa?
like chaat and golgappa, but we say pani puri.
Pani puri, yeah.
Yeah, we have pani puri, like most common street food. Every street corner has
Yeah.
it. Would not recommend it if you're a foreigner. But if you have an Indian or Nepali stomach, please
love it.
try it.
Yeah, pani puri is like our most famous street
So
food.
good. I'm like, my mouth is watering now,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
thinking about it.
Pav bhaji, chaat.
Yeah, chaat, very, very famous. Then we also have like laughing. It's our Nepali street food. Laughing. It's called laughing. Actually, even I haven't had it yet.
Laughing, ha ha ha, laughing.
It's called laughing. Yeah.
How is it?
It's made out of like flour. It's kind of floury, noodly. Even I haven't tried it yet because it became popular after I left Nepal.
Okay.
But my sister and my cousin and their friends,
They're
they
loving it?
always go and eat laughing. And another thing that's
Eat
popular,
laughing.
laughing, yeah.
Wrong, grammatically wrong sentence.
And we also have choila. We call them choila, or like duck choila is very famous with duck meat. But you can have chicken choila. It's just like,
Speak Nepali, no, thoda thoda.
oh, then you won't understand.
Thoda.
Okay, I'll speak. but anyway, choila. So it's just like meat that's like fried and cut into very small pieces, and it's just a snack. But yes, I can also speak in Nepali, whatever you would like me to say. Maybe my intro should
Yeah,
be
yeah. Please tell us about yourself, Shivani, in Nepal.
in Nepali. So, fun fact: Nepali is our national language, but my language is Maithili. That's what my family speaks. So my Nepali is a bit like questionable, but in Nepali you'd say like Namaste, mero naam Shivani ho, which is my name is Shivani.
Oh, I understand that.
You understood that? Mo aile masters padira chu, like I'm studying masters. Japan ma basira, like I'm living in Japan. Masters second year. Ani what else should I say? म यहाँ मेरो साथी सोनमसँग छु उसको इन्टरभ्यू गरिरहेको छु so etc. But probably I have an accent.
Yeah.
Like every Nepali says that when I speak in Nepali that I sound a bit off. So they'll be like, oh, where are you from? From Nepal.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice to know all of these things.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
These will be the fun
Yeah.
part.
But Nepal is our best friend.
Nepal-India alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should get more. We should benefit each other more.
Yes.
I think, yeah. Then it would be good.
We'll send this video to Modi ji.
Tomorrow, with this, we should like this. With the ambassadors of 2 different countries, like, yeah. Actually, anytime the India sent its ambassador to Nepal, their kids always studied at the school I went to. So the ambassador when I was living there was a Bengali, Mazumdar. So his 2 kids were at my high school. So, but the daughter also had like very nice curly hair and like.
So you used to discuss the shampoo?
I should have asked her back then, but yeah. So. And my sister did her schooling. We have lots of Indian schools in Nepal, and she studied in an Indian school. It's called Modern Indian School. Like any Indians living in Kathmandu, they usually send their kids there. And we have a Kendriya Vidyalaya also.
Oh, KV.
Yeah, we have KV also in Kathmandu. But it's very difficult to get into KV, especially for Nepalis. And it's inside the Indian embassy.
Okay.
So it's very like guarded and stuff. But Modern Indian, you can go. We have another school, DAV, also Indian.
Oh, very good.
And in DAV, I think it's run by Marwadis, I think, because you're not allowed to bring non-veg food.
Okay,
So
difficult.
you have to take. It doesn't matter if you eat or not, but for lunch you have to bring vegetarian. Yeah. So we have lots of Indian schools. My sister studied in one of them. Like the principal teachers are usually from India as well. It would be nice to know how come they moved to Nepal to work. Teaching to be teachers and principals.
Maybe they got married.
Maybe it's possible, but like my sister's principal was from Kerala also. Like he came all the way from south to Nepal, so
Interesting.
I don't know. But we have many Nepalis and many Punjabis
Punjabis.
in Nepal.
Punjabis are everywhere.
They do
Punjabis are
truck
everywhere.
business. They own trucks. Yeah. They do transportation and trucks and many, and they speak Nepali so well.
Oh.
Like they know way more Nepali than I do. They sound very authentic.
Aren't you like having an accent? Ithe aage assi
No,
and then
no
Nepali
accent.
with-
Like maybe they even know less Punjabi. I don't know, but because my mom's one of her oldest friends is Punjabi, but they just speak in Nepali with each other, and they live their whole lives in Nepal. And even their parents, they learned Nepali, and like they speak so well. Yeah.
Interesting.
But then their names will all be Punjabi. Like,
yeah, Gurmeet.
yeah, it's like those types of names, and then they have the pet names and stuff like Mitu and all. Yeah, like I call one of them Mitu Mama because my mom considers him like her brother. Yeah, so it's like lots of Punjabis also. Actually, many Indians now that I think about it. Yeah, many in Nepal.
Okay, so yeah, let's end it here. It was really, really nice talking to you. It's always nice talking to you. I always consider her like she's my Gigi. She's my Gigi.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you again on the show, maybe as an American.
As another. Instead of Clark, it'll be me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hosting me. I had a great time bragging about everything Nepali. I hope the Nepali audience appreciates
love it.
this. And I hope it helps your Indian audience learn a bit more
Yes,
about our small country.
but lovely country.
Yeah.
Which is exactly like India. So yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. I don't say it much, but yeah, it is for the it is for the algorithm. Yeah, we'll be posting other countries soon. Yeah. So yeah, Pakistan is next.
See you.
See you.
Fun fact: Nepali is our national language, but my language is my.
About Manisha Koirala.
Yeah.
So about Manisha Koirala.
Yeah. Should I say anything?
Wait.